We are here. It is Wednesday night. Spitting with Spitter. Actually, no, my fault. It's Thursday night. Special
Thursday.
time, special place. That's it. That's how the combine got my schedule messed up. Before we get the show started, let me shout out my sponsors. For all your vaping needs, go to Lehigh Vape. They're located at 822 Nazareth Pike. They have everything from hardware, juices, devices. Stop in, tell them TJ sent you. Again, that's 822 Nazareth Pike, Lehigh Vape. For pest control services, who else you going to call but the Wall? Wall to Wall Pest Control Services. Get 10% off when you try their services. Tell them TJ sent you, and Chuck Rockmore will take care of you. Bed bugs, bees, mice, cockroaches, ants. Call 1-610-570-4835. Wall to Wall Pest Control Service. Call Chuck Rockmore. Tell him TJ sent you. Now to introduce my guest, Coach Jackson, my guy. What's happening, my guy?
What's good, baby? What's good?
How are you?
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. I'm happy to be on this show, man. I've been looking forward to this.
Me too. Likewise. We got some comments coming in. That's my older brother, Big Al. What's up, my guy? Love you. Talk to you soon.
What's up, big bro?
Now, to get started, everybody can't come up here. So let's break down your career before you started coaching.
Okay.
High school.
All right.
Laurinburg Prep, North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
What was that like?
For me, I got there as a sophomore. When I got there, there was already 10 McDonald's All-Americans there, which was crazy. It was nerve-wracking for me, man. You talking about a kid coming from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I was about 5'10". I didn't hit a growth spurt yet. They brought me there to be the starting point guard with four other guys that were McDonald's All-Americans, top 20 players in the country. Joey Dorsey, Antonio Anderson, Shawnee Williams, all the guys that, if guys remember, when Derrick Rose was a freshman at Memphis, if you take Derrick Rose off that starting five from Memphis, that was the four that was on my starting five in prep school.
Okay.
So wow. Just to put that in context, right? And first year was amazing, man. I learned it. First year I averaged 20 a game, 20-7. We went 39-1. We lost to Hardgrade Military School, a prep school out there in Virginia. They had a player by the name of Sam Young. If anybody out there knows Sam Young, he went to University of Pittsburgh. He was a superstar. We lost to them. And then the next year we went 40-0. We won a national title. We beat Oak Hill Academy. They had Ty Lawson at the time, and I tore his mouth out. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's like that. You know what I mean?
Talk.
Yeah, so it's like that. You know what I mean? So, but that was a blessing, bro, just to be on a team. We had 15 players on that team. We were the only prep school ever to send all 15 players to Division I schools.
Wow.
So that's how loaded we were. Our third string could have beat a lot of teams.
That's amazing, bro. That's amazing. And then from high school, you went to the College Maryland Eastern Shore?
Yeah, I went to the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. Funny story is I had a scholarship to the University of Maryland. I actually got in trouble. I tell the story, man. A lot of people, they're like, dang, you made a mistake. Yeah, I made a mistake. I actually had a scholarship to the University of Maryland coming out of prep school. That summer, I got into the basketball team got into a fight with the football team at the University of Maryland. So I went in front of the college board. They took my scholarship before we could play a game at the University of Maryland. I came in as one of the top recruits for the University of Maryland. So the coach ended up giving me a pass, and he knew the coach at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. So that it was an HBCU, and so they gave me a pass and let me go there. I sat out a year. I went there, got to the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, got Player of the Year, got Freshman of the Year. I left, went to Alcorn State after that, and the rest is history, man. Best HBCU in the country, Alcorn State.
So you had an 11-year pro career, which brought you 6 titles and 3 MVPs.
Yes.
What was that like? What is, because everybody doesn't understand the pack your life up, go to an unknown place you ever been, and ball out.
It's not easy. You know what I mean? For me personally, my story is a little bit different from everybody else's, right? I declared for the NBA draft as a junior from Alcorn State, which was unheard of from an HBCU at the time. You know how everybody right now, they're like riding the wave of black colleges. I'm probably considered one of the greatest guards to ever come from an HBCU. You know, pound for pound. Like you talking to a guy that scored 900 points in the season, and, you know, at a Division I school. You know, like when Steph Curry was in college at Davidson, he was the #1 scorer in the country. I was #3. So you're talking to a guy that was really putting in real work at a small school, Division I, and playing all the top schools and like holding his own. Um, so I came out as a junior because I had to take care of my family. You know, my mom had did 13 years in prison. She needed money. You know, I needed money. My dad was struggling to pay bills. My dad has since passed away by that time. By this time, my dad had 3 triple bypass surgeries and pacemakers in and out. So I had to leave school early. I didn't want to leave Alcorn, but I had to leave early, right? And I was projected to be an early second-round pick by the Sacramento Kings. So I went to LA. I did my workouts. They were gonna draft me, so I had a second workout, and I made another mistake. So this is why I say I don't point the finger. I don't live off excuses, right? I went out that I went out that night, had some drinks, had some fun. They said the next workout was at 11:30 the next day, but they came and picked me up at 6:30 in the morning for a private workout, and I bombed it. I was smelling like alcohol. I was still hungover. I bombed it. So I blew that shot. And so they sent me to the Erie Bayhawks at the time to play in the D League. It was called the D League, not the G League. It was called the D League at the time. I was a starting point guard for that team. Jeremy Lin was my backup. Crazy. Jeremy Lin was my backup. I was averaging 18 points a game. Jeremy Lin was struggling at the time, but he got the call up and I didn't. I didn't understand what was going on. At that time, that was my first time realizing that it was politics in the game.
For sure.
You know, I was basically being blackballed for what I did. You know, coming out of HBCU, young African American kid, he likes to party. That was my label. But that wasn't true. That was just my first time actually tasting alcohol at the time. I just didn't know how to handle it. Right.
Right.
So I said to myself, you know what? I told my agent, who was Austin Walton at the time, I said, yo, Austin, man, I want to go overseas, man. I can't do this. They're never gonna give me my shot. You know, it's not that I wasn't good enough to be in the league. It's just I knew then they were never gonna give me my shot. You know, so I was like, okay. I went over to the Czech Republic. First year was awesome, bro. First year was great. I signed a contract for $11,500 a month. I thought I was in heaven. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like 11,500 a month. I'm in heaven right now. So I played the first year. It was dope. Second year, I signed for 17.5 because I got MVP my first year out. I was cooking. So I signed for 17.5, man. Midway through the season, I show up to practice. The doors got locks on them. The team had folded, but they didn't tell us. They didn't tell the Americans. I get back to the place they had us staying. They were putting our stuff out. Right? So I'm calling my agent. Yeah. So I'm calling my agent like, yo, they folded. Like, what am I gonna do? They putting our stuff out. How am I gonna get home? My agent at the time told me straight up, you gotta find your own way home. There's nothing I can do. You're my agent. You're gonna leave me stranded in this country. Like I have no way home. Yeah, bro, it was crazy. So my aunt, she paid for my ticket, and my other American teammate who was from Las Vegas, she paid for his ticket too. It cost her $4,200 to get us both home. She got us home. I got home, bro. I stayed home for I turned down 10 deals in 3-4 months because I was so traumatized.
Right.
I didn't want to go back across the water. So I sat at home, and then the next deal came. It was Australia, in the NBL Australia. Bro, best time I ever had in my life. Australia was awesome for me. I played in Australia for 5 years. I played in Sydney, Melbourne. I played in Sydney for a couple of years. Then I played in Melbourne for a couple more years. When I tell people the best place I ever played as a pro was Australia, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. If I could do it all over again, I'd have spent my entire career in Australia. Right. The people treated me great. I made the most money I ever made in my life over there. I came over there making $15,000 a month for 10 months. I played over there for 5 years. The most I made was 22.5. a month, tax free. So it was good for me, man. Like I made a lot of money. I had a lot of fun, and then I went to the Dominican Republic, which was I love my Dominican people, but that might have been I drank the water while I was taking the shower. You're not supposed to really swallow the water while you're over there. So I got what you call a water parasite, and it made me sick as a dog. It was actually good over there until I got sick, and then I had to leave. And then after that, I went to Austria, played a season, won an MVP and a championship. Then I went to Iceland, won an MVP, won a championship. Then I went home, chilled for a little bit. I was done traveling, and then one of the greatest coaches I ever had in my life, Joe Salerno. Shout out to Joe Salerno. He's coaching college basketball right now in Canada. He took a job in Canada for the Island Storm. It was called the Summerside Storm at the time, in Prince Edward Island. And he called me actually 2 days before my birthday. And he was like, I need some toughness, man. And we need some swagger here on this team. It's only one guy I can call. So he called me, and they did this big printout and poster and everything on the building. Jackson brings swagger to the building. I thought that was super dope. I went to Canada. Canada is what I call my second home. Everybody who knows me, they know I love Canada. If I can get guys anywhere, it would be to Canada, right? You know, as a basketball player, I would tell them to go. I played in Canada for a couple years. Canada compared to Australia would probably be, it's like 1A, 1B, right? Because the love you get in Canada is unmatched.
Okay.
The love you get in Canada, it's like, especially being a minority, right? An African American, like Australia, they showed me love, super love. But Canada made me feel like this is how an African American should be treated. You know what I mean? Like they treated me with love. You know what I mean? They never judged me for, you know, my color of my skin. They never treated me bad. I never endured one moment of racism. And I can't say that about other countries that I played in.
Right.
Canada, I never endured one moment of racism. They embraced me. They treated me like a second son, man. And it was just love, man. Playing professional basketball for me was love. And then I ended my career playing for the Rochester Razor Sharks in Rochester, New York.
Okay.
And in the PBL, which was when I played in the PBL, it was magnificent. It was dope. You know, we had teams in Puerto Rico, we had teams in Oklahoma, we had teams everywhere. We had teams in Canada. It was dope. And I played for some great coaches. Chris Iverson was one of my, you know, best coaches I ever played for. And Rochester is just love to me. I know it's a dangerous city to some. It reminds you of like Allentown, Philly. You know what I mean? It's very dangerous to be in. You know, Rochester, upstate New York ain't the safest place in the world, but if they love you, bro, they love you.
Right.
We won some championships. I won some MVPs. That was the first place my dad ever got to see me play basketball professionally.
That's dope.
You know, so winning that title there meant a lot to me, and the Rochester people meant a lot to me, and it was fun, bro. Being a professional athlete for me, it was fun. It was a journey, but it was worth it.
That's super, super fire. And I always love to hear, because it doesn't just happen where you're an all-star.
No, it doesn't.
Never happened. People
Nah,
want to skip the process. They just think they see a bunch of clips on YouTube. They make a couple highlights. Now all of a sudden they're the man. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
You know, every top tier, you gotta take the steps to get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They don't see the work that's being put in
at all.
They don't see the no's. Like, yeah, everybody says it takes one yes, but they don't know about the million no's. They don't know about the million times the doors being closed in your face. Or, man, I remember being in Iceland after winning an MVP. I remember seeing a guy come in that plays my position, and he was actually playing good on another team, right? He was playing really good, and he was averaging 27 a game. They told this young man that his 27, he was putting it up the wrong way, and then they released him. And that's when I realized that you really got to be a pro in this game. Like, you really got to be Kevin Durant. I'll use Kevin Durant as an example, and Steph Curry. They're so efficient. That's what makes them greats, like all-time greats, right? And as a semi-pro and an overseas player, that's what made me an all-time great. And I say that humbly, right?
Right, for sure.
I shot 95% from the free throw line. I shot 50% from the three. I shot 50% from the field. You had to make yourself efficient to stay. There's guys that are averaging 25 a game overseas, and you wonder why they need a job the next year. It's because they average 25 and they take 22 shots to get it.
Right.
Efficiency. That's how you stick.
It's huge. People don't understand. Like the average NBA player shoots 37% from the 3-point line.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you're making 4 out of 10 shots. That's right. From 3. You know what I mean? Like,
and that line is crazy, right? How far that line is. So compare that to like an overseas line. That's why guys, NBA players struggle when they go to the Olympics, right? Because the line is shorter.
Right.
They're used to shooting from far, so they have to adjust. So imagine going overseas and being this efficient. The ball is different, right? People think that doesn't make a difference. You have to adjust to the ball. You have to adjust to the language. Like I remember going to Germany and playing for AC Berlin, which was one of the biggest teams at the time. I remember going over there and my interpreter was terrible. Like my interpreter was terrible. He was telling me, the coach would be telling me one play, my interpreter would be relaying it the wrong way. And I'm like, yo, I don't know I don't know what's going on right now. You want me to call a play? I don't understand the language. I don't understand. So I just start jacking shots up. They released me in 3 weeks. And I'm like, okay, I was like, oh my God, I gotta learn a different language. I gotta learn these languages so I can pick up on it. So I started taking a notebook around. I went to another team in Germany. I started taking a notebook around, and I started seeing the average fan or the average person walking on the streets, and I'd be like, what does this mean?
Right.
And I'll write it down. And I started teaching myself that way. And then because it's a business, bro, you have to adjust to what's in front of you, bro. You do.
These kids don't understand that at the end of the day, basketball is a business. I don't care how talented you are. I know kids that can jump out of the gym but can't put their bandana down.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a business.
It is a business. Guys showing up smelling like marijuana to a tryout. Like, guys.
Let's talk. All right. We covered your career. Let's talk about it. So
let's talk.
I was invited to the combine to cover the players of the game, and like I got a little platform. People know me from music, media, whatever it is. You know what I mean? You're a coach. Real recognize real. Most don't look familiar. I get there. I didn't really talk to anybody. Right. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to do a job.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're coaching on the sideline, and I see you possess the same energy and enthusiasm, passion, and love for the game that I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to find. It's hard to find those 4 things in a person. And I'm watching these players that you've never coached before buy into your process, and you're not giving them crazy wild plays, but you're giving them plays to execute, and they're executing, and you're winning ball games.
Mm-hmm.
What does it take to be a pro? What did you see at that combine that players could? I got a whole list of, and people may not know my backstory. I played with greats. I have greats in my family. Some of my closest people right now, 2 of them are overseas. They are both MVPs. One was an MVP in Italy. One was an MVP in Spain. You know what I mean? Like ballers. But what does it take? What did you see that these players don't understand day one of the combine?
Well, first of all, I want to shout out Red Rose Thunder.
Most definitely.
Shout out Red Rose Thunder. She puts on a good show. I love her to death. She puts on a great show. Her and Lucas, her son, Lucas is awesome. I mean, anything that they're ever doing, if you want to be a part of basketball, I feel like they're basketball royalty, because the things that they're doing for that community out there, and the opportunities that they give people like me, you, to come be a part of that, man. I just thought that they put on a great event, and for her to be doing it for her first time like that, I think it went great. It was
very for the first time. It was very successful.
It went great, man.
I want to shout out Coach Mallon, her son Lucas, and the entire Red Rose Thunder organization. Because check this out. Like I met Coach Mallon at the Valley League. My guys run the Valley League, so I'm there. I'm doing security, and I'm making sure everybody's minding their P's and Q's. Because it's basically like a small Dykeman. People running on the court, shit getting crazy. and she sees how I interact with everybody. She came up to me. She says, "You know everybody, don't you?" Seems that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it clicked from there.
One thing I want to say, we got to make sure we say her name correctly because she will get on us. Because I
Okay.
know she's watching this. And I think it's Marlon.
Marlon?
Marlon, like Marlon, yeah. Because I know she corrected me a couple times. So I want to make sure we get it right because I thought she was going to, she gave me that look like, yeah, that's not my name. You know what I mean? So I just want to make sure I say it right. Marlon, I think that she's so dope, man. But what I seen, let me first say this to the players if they're watching this. A lot of these guys weren't professional. And I'll say this with all due respect to the players because they don't hear this when they should hear this. You don't show up 2 minutes before we about to tip off anything. You know, that first of all, that'll get you released and fired. Secondly, you don't show up out of shape
Right.
to a pro combine.
Right.
Showing up out of shape automatically gets you cut. Right? You
Yeah.
don't show up out of shape, not prepared, not mentally prepared. This is not open run. This is you got to expect some type of structure. And a lot of these guys didn't respond well to structure. I seen both sides of the court. There was Coach Willie Pons who played for the Celtics. You know, he was given structure. It might not have been the structure that guys were used to or could handle, but he was given structure. Like, oh, yeah, he's an OG, so his structure is going to be different from how I give it, right? Obviously, my energy is different from his. He's an old head that, but he has stripes. So a man that has NBA stripes, you're not making eye contact and you're not paying attention, shame on you. Shame on you. Because regardless if you don't like the way he's delivering a message, you got to respect his body of work. You have to respect it, right? And I don't think a lot of these guys, realize who they were in front of. So that's number one. Number two, the other side of the court, his instruction was awesome. Coming off ball screens, how to get spacing, how to dive. And those guys they left those drills from NBA guys, NBA coaches, NBA scouts. They left those drills and didn't implement any of that in the 5-on-5. That's how I know you're not ready to be a pro. Because when a coach would break something down for me, I'm going to show him that I learned that.
Right.
So I'm going to impress him. So when he comes to me, he says, young man, young fella, I like how you put that in there. I showed you how to do it. I like that. You picked up on that. You seen me. I was putting in quick sets, quick hitters. And if those guys wasn't running them, I was getting them out.
Yeah.
I know you paid your money to be here, but I also came here to teach. I also came here to give you the feel of what it feels like to be a pro. And if you can't pick up on a play that I run over for 10 minutes before a game, you can't be a professional athlete. That's just the reality of it, right? So day 2, guys didn't show up. You know why they didn't show up? It's not a reflection on the combine. It's a reflection on their integrity. I'm going to tell you why. They got pushed to the limit the first day, and then they ran.
Yeah.
Point blank, period. They got pushed to the limit. Some of them got exposed, and they said, I'm not going to continue to get exposed. I'm done. I'm not going back. That's it.
I'm going back to your previous statement. Don't come here out of shape.
Oh, my God. That's the worst thing you can do.
First and foremost, don't come here out of shape. Don't come. I don't care what you do in your off time. Don't come here smelling like weed.
Oh my, can I touch on that for a second? That I really do. I had an exhibition game myself, and I let dudes have it. I got kids in the building. I represent something. This is my name, my legacy, what I'm building. You come into my gym and you smell like marijuana, I can't trust you anymore, and I can't deal with you. Because at the end of the day, I got love for you, and I want to help you as a young man. I want to see you grow. But I can't have you be a part of my program.
Exactly.
I can't, because little kids are looking at me as a role model. And if I put you in front of them, I'm failing them. Like we said, it's a business, right?
Yeah.
So you come here, you can't go to your job smelling like marijuana.
No.
And if you do, You probably work at Kentucky Fried Chicken then. I'm just saying. Shout out to Kentucky Fried Chicken. I love it. Not
We
saying
don't
that
want no problems with the
I don't want
Colonel.
no problems. But I'm saying you probably work in a job that doesn't really, they don't care, right?
Right.
But when we're in a position like me and you, Red Rose Thunder, Fredericksburg Grizzlies, and all the other teams that were there, and Central Pennsylvania Kings, and we're in a position to change lives and to motivate communities. We can't have that, man. We can't have that. And shame on you to say, as a basketball player, I want to be a pro. You're not a pro. I'm gonna tell you, yes, we know. We're not gonna sit here and lie like these NBA players don't smoke weed. We're not gonna say that they don't. We're not gonna say NFL players don't smoke weed. They get caught all the time, right? The ones that make the mistakes, they get caught all the time. But what they do, and I'm honest about it, I'm upfront, right? With what they do, some of the ones that I know, they don't let it affect their job.
No.
They don't bring it to their job. They don't come to an interview smelling like last night.
Right.
They don't do that. They're respectful to the game. If you don't respect it, I can tell right away if a guy doesn't respect the game. And I can't vibe with him. I can tell we're not going to say what we want to say right now. I can tell when coaches don't respect the game. You know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. We don't have to talk about anything, but you know what I'm talking about. I can tell when coaches have an agenda and they're not trying to help kids. It's for them. Right. You see, when you watch Marlon and Lucas coach, you can tell they love the game.
Absolutely.
They're there to teach. You watch the guy that coaches Pottstown Power. He's there to teach certain guys. You see that. Fredericksburg Grizzlies. You see that even the referees that were there there to teach the game, right? That's what I respect. A person that puts in the work and they know what it takes. So instead of like taking from a young man, they're trying to give to a young man. Because some of these guys that are trying to be pros, you and I know, they don't have father figures.
Right. Right. Let's say, and I hate to say it like this, but we're going to call a spade to spade. Most of these kids are getting raised by the street.
They're getting raised by the street. So they're coming to you and I looking for an opportunity, but they don't know how to come correct because they haven't been taught.
Right.
So I can give you one mistake. I can give you two. But after the second one, and I sit you down and I school you on how the game's supposed to go, how you're supposed to approach the game, how your body has to change, how your eating habits your eating habits are some of the most important things that make you a pro. When I was a pro, I didn't drink soda. I didn't eat burgers. I didn't do any of that stuff. I took care of my body because my body was how I got paid. Because I knew in my position as a two guard, 6'3", 6'3.5", there's 1,000 other guards out there. If I made one mistake, I came in overweight, I came in out of shape, I came in slacking on my game, I didn't put up 1,500 shots a day. There was a guy out there that's waiting to take my spot.
That's 6'5", that's in better shape, that's got a better jumper.
He's ready.
It's the age-old Jay-Z quote, there's a young boy at the breakfast table right now rapping that wants my spot.
That wants my spot. And you know what? I had the mentality. That's why my nickname is Wolf. I had the mentality like, I'm eating everything that's in front of me. So I'm going to let you know this right now. You're going to have to be a different type of animal to take my job. Because when they bring you in for training camp, you're mine.
That's it.
I'm leaving no doubt that I'm the best two guard in camp. I'm killing you. And I know you got to eat and you got to feed your family, but you got to go, bro.
I had my one guy that was on the show 2 weeks back. His name's Desi Washington. He's an overseas pro player.
Okay.
And he said, I don't care if it's me and my grandma on the island.
She got to go.
She got to go.
She got to go. Listen.
It's a different type of mentality.
Listen, true story. God rest my father's soul. I remember coming back from Australia and my dad said, let's go to the court. Let's go to the court. Let's play. Because he used to whoop up on me when I was a kid, right? So he said, let's go to the court. Let's play. Pacemaker and all. I forgot all about that. Elbow to the chest, knocked him over, dunked the ball, talking crazy to him. And then I seen him grab his chest and I said, oh my gosh, I forgot. And he was like, no. And my father, God rest his soul, was like, no. That's who you are. That's who we are. It's in me. It's in me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's in me. So that's how I coach. You see how I coach. I
Yeah,
coach like that. I coach like that, man. I coach with passion, with that fire, because so many people are here today and going tomorrow.
absolutely.
The opportunity is here today, going tomorrow, right? You could be playing one day, and like you said, a 6'5" guy comes in and they fall in love with him. Now you got to find something else to do. You
Exactly.
know, So I don't know, man. Like I believe that the combine that we were just at was probably one of the best combines that I've been to in my pro career as a
Right.
player and as a coach and an owner. Um, I'm trying to do things like that in my city, man. And I don't know if you understand this or you go through this in your city, but trying to do this in Scranton, PA, man, is so much pushback. I'm trying to bring something that they've never seen, that they've never had, and it's like I have so many roadblocks and so many haters, trying to get in the way of what I'm doing. One, because they don't want me to spread the message of economic freedom. They don't want me to, show these young fellas how to get out these streets. They don't want me to do that. It's like they want them to stay there. So
It's that crabs in the barrel mentality.
it's terrible, bro. And guys say to me all the time here, I want to be a pro. I want to be a pro. You don't, because I'm giving you the blueprint for free.
For free.
For free.
You know how
My
many times
doors. Go
I
ahead.
will call a player and be like, "What are you doing?" Oh, playing the game. Why? For what is that? Is that gonna put money in your pocket?
No,
Is that
no.
gonna make you better?
You know what's crazy? Guys will say, I told a bunch of guys about the combine, and they missed out on a good opportunity. Um, I don't have the money, but you got money to do other things.
What's
See,
that?
I told guys, I said, I'm gonna get you to go to this combine. This is how much it costs. It's $100. It's $99. Let's go. I don't got the money to do that, but you got the money to do other things, right? But this is your dream though. But you think the dream is free. You think the dream is. You think that professional athletes like myself never had to pay to go somewhere. That's a lie. They're not telling you the truth. There's a lot of athletes. I'm gonna tell you this. I like to say this generation is full of. It's a social media generation. We know that, right? We know it's a social media generation, right? We can
Right.
agree on. All right. So there's guys overseas right now making $300-400 a month, but they're lying to the public as if they're really getting paid, right? So they're creating this falsehood to these young guys who are trying to be professional athletes. Like, I'm gonna turn down this deal. You might have to start off in a third world country making $750 a month so you can get film that you're a pro to get another job. But guys aren't willing to sacrifice for that. These guys honestly think that they're gonna come out of Lackawanna College and walk into a $10,000 a month job. It's not happening.
It, people, I get asked all the time how I got where I'm at, and it goes right back to the process. You will fall trying to skip up 5 steps to get to the top.
Yes. Yes.
You want to pay $100 to go out one night for hookah, but you don't want to pay $100 to go better yourself to chase your dream.
You know why? Because deep down inside they know they ain't got it. And I ain't talking about the money. I'm
Right.
talking about what it takes to be a pro.
Right.
They know, but they want to give an excuse. They want us to help them, give them excuses to why they're not chasing their dreams.
He said I couldn't do it. Now I'm not going to do it.
I'm not going to do it. Oh, somebody went and helped me, give me money. They knew I couldn't afford it. I don't got the money like that. But you got on $300 pair of shoes. But you don't got the money to go chase your dream. Oh, I see what it is. You want to impress the masses, and you don't want to put your head down and work hard for this. I work hard for everything I got, man. And my story goes like this, man. I probably would still be playing professional basketball had I not got diagnosed with bone cancer on my spine in 2014. Had I not have to go through radiation and chemo twice to survive cancer, I would still be playing basketball right now. But that wasn't the calling that God had on my life.
There we
So
go.
now I'm trying to open the door for other young guys that are coming up because I know the ins and outs, right? And if I'm trying to give you the blueprint for free and you don't take it, is it my fault? Whose fault is it? Because I can't force feed you.
No,
I can't, because this life ain't for everybody.
it's not.
It's not for everybody.
And I see that. And it's unfortunate. Like, again, it's the social media era. I want to do this for as many likes as possible, but I want to put in the work to get there. You're only going to see the highlight reel. You're not going to see all the ass whoopings I took to get here.
Right, right. And what's crazy is it'd be highlights they made themselves. I don't have a highlight on YouTube or anywhere that I made myself. So that's how you know you're elite. You're making this highlight yourself. You're showing us the best of you, which is probably coming from 2 or 3 games in a rec league.
Right? It don't count. It don't count.
It don't count. I don't want to hear about what you did in the men's league. I don't want to hear about what you did in the rec league. Have you ever, I tell guys this all the time, have you ever looked at a scouting report and said, if we take Troy away, we can beat them? Have you never seen a scouting report like that says number 13 has no weakness in his game? We're just going to have to send 2 at him. If you ain't never seen a scouting report like that, we can't have a conversation.
The only way we can win is if I contain him to 15, because normally he drops 30.
30, right. If you ain't never seen that, you don't know what it feels like to have if you don't know what it feels like to have defenses geared just towards you. When you're looking at your 3 guard, you're looking at your small forward, and they're not even guarding him. You're looking at your power forward, and they don't even care if he touches the ball.
Right.
You're getting face guarded from the moment you leave the bench until you touch the court.
Right.
Right? Like, if you don't know what that feels like when I watch the NBA, and I see guys like KD, LeBron, James Harden, and I see Devin Booker, and I see them run through double teams, and they got a double team, and then they got a spy. They got 3 people basically guarding them. I know what that feels like.
Right.
So I know the type of work that they're putting in when the camera is off.
Yeah.
They're working on that. They're working on a double team. They don't see the first person. They're thinking about the help and the helper, right? If you ain't never did that, you don't know what it takes to be a pro. Because a real pro is doing that every day. Those guys that won, your homeboys that won the MVP in Spain and Italy, they're in some of the top leagues, bro. That's not easy.
No.
That's not easy.
And they're killers. And when they come home, they don't even play in the rec leagues and the pickups and the tournaments. No.
Because it's a waste of their time.
Right.
Because those guys that you're going to play against got something to prove.
Exactly.
And that's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's dangerous for their health. Their bodies now, when they come back home, that's their check.
Yeah.
They can't play around with these dudes who go to 9 to 5s every day. They can't do that. You ain't got nothing to lose. I go up for a dunk. You hit my leg the wrong way.
It's
my
over.
career is over.
Right.
You know, so I mean, I would tell guys this, man, if they're watching and they're listening to us right now, if you're a point guard and you want to go overseas and you want to stick, you got to, 1, be cerebral, 2, be the most in shape player on the team. Learn how to run an offense, right? You have to learn how to run an offense. You have to know everybody's position in and out. They teach you that in high school. You need to know all 5 positions in and out, right? And you need to be an extension of the coach. That's 1 for the point guard. For a 2 guard, a combo guard, if you want to stick in, I'll tell you 2 ways. If you're undersized, 6'2", 6'3", and under, you got to be a dog. You're going to have to be a dog. Because now 2 guards overseas are 6'5" and up. 6'5" and up. So if you're a 2 guard that's 6'2", 6'3", and under, you got to be a dog on both sides of the basketball. And you have to score efficiently, right? That's how you stick as a 2 guard.
And here's the hit with the 2 guard. If you're undersized, you can't miss at all.
You can't miss at all.
And you can't take a bad shot.
You got to be an assassin.
Efficiency,
right? So if you're a 3 guard, you're a small forward, you're probably going to be 6'6" and above, right? 6'6" and above, depending on what country you play for. You know, they got some countries where it's 6'5" and under, right? So if you're a 3 guard and you want to stick, you got to rebound outside of your area. You got to be able to guard your position, right? You got to be efficient as well, right? And you got to be able to do the intangibles. You got to be able to run the 1, the 2, and the 3 at the 3 spot. Because at the 3 spot overseas, you are a ball handler.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you can't handle the ball overseas, you can't play.
No. You got to be also, I'm glad you said that. You got to be able to cover 1 and 2.
Yep.
You can't be a liability on defense and expect
to be a liability. Right. And as a 4-man, you just got to be Ben Wallace-like. Most 4-man overseas are not the scorers.
No.
They're not, unless they're playing in Mexico somewhere, right? Most 4-mans in top leagues overseas, they are rebound machines.
Right.
Rebound, block shots, defense. That's it. And if you're a 5 overseas, unless you're playing in Spain or Italy, you probably won't be touching a ball like that.
No.
Right?
Unless you're like wildly elite, but if you're wildly elite, you're not there.
You're not there, right? So we're telling you right now how to stick. But I guarantee you, all those guards out there think they need to score 30. I know guys that have 10-year careers that are still in Australia right now, averaging 14 points a game.
Yeah.
And they will have a job until they don't want to play no more.
14 points a game on 5 for 7 shooting.
Yep.
12 assists.
12 assists. I was about to say that. 6 boards, a couple
2
steals.
Yep. See?
But they think, oh, I'm a scorer. I can score with the. No, you can't. Because a real scorer ain't going to tell you he'll score.
Right. Exactly.
I don't have to tell you. I don't have to tell you I get buckets because my 15, 16 a game in Australia was equivalent to 40 over here.
Right.
We won games. Right? So when I came back into the States and I was playing for the Razor Sharks, I was averaging 25, 30. It was light work.
Yeah.
Because the competition level and the mental game was not there because these guys don't know the game. It was nights, I swear, it was nights in the first half I used to take off. Like I didn't even take a shot when I came back to the States. And I'll be like, I'm going to just score 20 in the fourth. Like seriously. Yeah. I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to just get my guys included. I'm going to get my guys involved. And then when the third and fourth quarter come, I'm going to just kill. And then I'm going to sit down.
Because all my guys are like family to me, right? Mm-hmm. So we got done the other day, and one of my dogs got done playing. I was like, how do you think you went? He was like 40%.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up with 37, 12. You know what I mean? Light work.
Because the game slows down. Right. When you become a pro and you're a real pro, the game is so mental. It's not physical anymore.
Right.
It's mental, right? And a lot of these young guys, they don't study the game. No. They go out here and imitate moves. Do you ever remember I said this to you when we were at the gym? The first thing dudes did when they came into the gym was start shooting threes. They didn't warm up. They didn't stretch.
No stretching. No jogging.
No nothing. They just start shooting threes.
Right.
Because they're watching the NBA and they're like, oh, this guy, this is what they do. This is what they want to see. Those guys get paid $30 million a year. They're specialists. Right. They are in the gym shooting those shots for hours.
Let's be clear. There are 420 slots in the whole world for the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
That's how good you have to be.
That's how good you have to. And there's only, when we say superstars, there's probably 10 superstars. There's stars, but superstars, there's probably 10, maybe 12 super mega stars.
And to be clear, the 12th guy off that bench is going to come here and trash you.
Trash. I'm like, straight up, do you bad, right? I'm looking at, shout out to Philly, because they got the brotherly love pro-am in Philly. Yeah. So they got some guys that are like, came off the bench. I can't think of his name, for the Brooklyn Nets. And he was like 12 men. He in the brotherly love pro-am averaging 30. It's like that.
Lou Will was at the Rumpf Classic and was giving out 50 balls.
Put up 50. But listen, this is how bad it is when it comes to these young guys. I'm glad you brought that up because I know it's a young guy that's probably watching this. He said Lou Will was trash. Is what he said. Right? He said Lou Will's trash. I said, why is Lou Will trash? Oh, maybe he's a bench player. He don't do nothing. I said, the man won Sixth Man of the Year 4 times in the NBA, which means if Lou Wills wanted to be a starter, he could have been a long time ago. But he knew his niche. He knew where he fit in. In order to stick in the league, he had to find his role. He found it and he perfected it.
Absolutely.
These guys don't understand that. They want to be Kobe, God rest his soul. They want to be James Harden. They want to be them, and you don't even got that work ethic. Come on, man.
Kobe said I would go to the gym at 4:00 every morning before anybody would get there.
Right.
Because I know there's somebody out there working harder than me. I can't believe that. But
my man said, Cole said one time in an interview, I don't work out, I black out. If you don't know, if you don't have that passion, the man used to take an oxygen tank to the gym because he went so hard. He needed extra air to breathe because he would work out until he passed out.
Right.
We don't know too many dudes that have that type of work ethic.
No.
Right? We don't know too many dudes that have that.
I be seeing these kids when they get done on the line, and when I say on the line, they're running suicides, throw up.
Thick as a dog. Can't breathe.
You only did 5.
And they be 17, 18 years old.
Bro.
When we were 17, 18 years old, we were running all day.
All day. There was no phone. There was no social media. I'll meet you at the park like at noon, and I'll be home at night.
Yep. Tired as hell after you eat and take a knocked out. And then wake up and do it again.
Yeah.
We ain't have to say, yo, you hooping? We're hooping. Today. We're out here. It's not like that, man. These guys, they don't love the game. They want it given to them, right? Like, I just go off the quote, like, in order to become the 1%, like the 1% that's in the league, you got to do what the other 99% won't do.
Won't do.
They don't understand that. Like, what do you mean? I put in work. No, you don't. Shout
out to real fast the coach with the assistant coach for Lehigh Valley or University of Lehigh, Harry Mora. I came up playing ball with him, and the first thing he said was, "I was a gym rat, but TJ was there before me every day."
Mm-hmm.
It just so happens that basketball was my safe haven. Basketball was my escape and how I avoided the streets until I got older. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't see it. I'm going to be real honest with you. I don't see a lot of players making it to that next. I don't see a lot of dogs out there.
Nah, I don't. I see it's a lot of prima donnas out there, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of guys, and this is what's crazy. It's a lot of prima donnas out there, but they didn't grow up prima donnas.
No.
They grew up in poverty. So I don't understand it. You grew up in poverty. You're growing up watching your mom suffer as a single parent. You're growing up watching your little brothers and sisters hungry and looking for a role model. But yet you think the excuse is to get in the streets and do it the wrong way. When God blessed you with a talent that he didn't bless nobody else with. He gave you a special ability to get out. But instead of using that special ability, you want to do what the bums are doing. And I call them bums because I got a lot of people in my family that's in the streets. So I don't mean no disrespect to them because you got to get it how you get it, whatever. But I'm saying we have a choice. If God blessed you with a talent and you don't take advantage of that talent, it's nobody's fault but yours.
Exactly.
There's no. I had a choice, bro. I grew up with my dad in the streets. I grew up when my mom was in the streets. My uncles, everybody was in the streets. They were getting it. Everybody thought that that's the angle Troy's gonna go. Troy's gonna be just like, I heard it my whole life. Troy's gonna be just like his father. Troy's gonna be just like his brothers. He's gonna be just like his uncle. He's gonna be just like this. And I left. I went to prep school, bro. I went to prep school and never came back. This is my first time back for real. Right. I've been going for over 15, 16 years. And I came back on a mission. The same way I left, I'm trying to get other guys out of here. But they don't want to leave, TJ. No. They don't want to leave.
I say all the time, I'm like, listen, your mom's struggling.
Mm-hmm.
She working 2 jobs. She braiding the hair. She's doing everything under the sun. And you want to sell a measly gram here, a gram there. You're not even Nino Brown.
Right.
And
Right.
then when you get on the court, you want me to carry you to the fucking trophy, part of my language. I
Can't do that.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating because, like, I can say for myself, I wasted a lot of talent and I chose the wrong path a lot in my life. Praise God, I'm here now on the right path. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if I could teach you from the mistakes I made so you could better yourself and you could get to the next level, do that.
This is the thing, though, T. We've been through the fire. We escaped it.
For sure.
We've been through the fire. I've been paying attention to your social media. I've been going back and looking how you've been, and you share that. You share your story. I love that, right? You've been through the fire and you're steady trying to give back and reach and help people, right? The frustrating thing for me is knowing all the obstacles that I overcame, bro. I'm gonna share something with you, man, because I'm in the business of sharing. This is what I do, right? I'm gonna share something for the guys out there that have every excuse in the world. Let me break this down for you and be very intimate with what I'm about to share. And it's gonna and I don't share this with everybody. It's gonna blow some people's, they're gonna be like, oh my God, I didn't know. 12, 13 years old, I'm in a Boys and Girls Club right here in Scranton, PA. And I'm working out and I'm playing basketball. My dad is supposed to pick me up at 9 o'clock at night. He's in the streets, he forgets about me. I'm on my way home, I go home. I go to cross the train tracks in Greenridge Street in Scranton, PA. Two white guys see me coming. They ask me for some money. I give them 30, I think it was 35 cents. They wanted to make a phone call at the payphone. I reach into my book bag, give it to them. They hit me over the head with a bottle. They rape me and leave me there for dead. They broke a bottle. I got a scar on my throat right now. They cut my throat, left me there. A person found me, wrapped me up, took me to the hospital, right? Right then and there, I realized how cold this world was. I realized it because my own family got distant. My own family. I had older brothers that were my half brothers from they live in Miami now, that said that you're not a real Jackson because a real Jackson would have fought back. I was 13. This is what my own family told me. I had to learn how to talk again. I had to learn how to swallow and eat again, right? And I realized at that moment that if you don't step up, I'm going to die here. Like I'm going to die here, or I'm going to make a mistake out of anger and I'll never escape this hell, right? So fast forward, I get out, I play basketball, I go to prep school, I go to college, I become a pro, and then God humbles me again. Cancer, boom, basketball is gone. Now who are you gonna be? Now what's next? Are you gonna quit now? Or are you gonna fold? You escaped all of this hell. What are you gonna do now? I go get my master's degree,
right?
Psychology, right? So I want to give back to people. I wanted to understand. This is years later. I wanted to understand why those men did that to me.
Right.
That's why I went to psychology and took that up. I wanted to understand why me. Was I not strong enough? Was I not this? Should that have happened to me? Was it my fault? Did I ask for something like that to happen to me? I had to realize that, the world don't owe you anything. And I realized that. It's a saying. They always say the world don't owe you anything. People act like the world owes you something. I had to realize right then and there, like, the world didn't owe me anything. That happened to a lot of people, not just me. So I could have sat there, cried, wallowed in my misery, blamed the world. I could have hated white people. I could have did this. I could have did that. Sure. But I didn't. So I look at these young men and I say, what the hell is your excuse?
Right.
Everything that I know I've endured, everything I know that people around me have endured, like you've endured, that all these other people have endured, like we all got a story. So I'm around these young guys and they're always complaining about nobody gave me shit. Excuse my language. That's why they call me wolf. I had to go take it. Everything I got, I earned it. That's why I never look over my shoulder and I don't ever have to worry about somebody saying, I did that for him. Right. I went and got it, bro. That's why I don't respect lazy people and the work ethic and excuses. I go get it. You're a go-getter.
That's
Red
it.
Rose Thunder, you can see that, you know, her and her son, Marlon and Lucas, they're go-getters. Fredericksburg Grizzlies, they're go-getters. Everybody else that we met there, they were go-getters. Those young men that came and put in that work, they're go-getters,
For
right?
sure.
And like you said, real recognize real. We left that combine. Almost 15 of those players have reached out to me. I've
As they
and this
should.
and this is what they said. And God is my witness. I've never seen a coach like you. And I'm saying to myself, that was a little bit of me. Like, I just gave you a little bit.
You caught a 2-day, 6-game trial. Yeah. You didn't even pay for the subscription yet. Be clear.
Yo, it was love though, man. I believe that God puts us in places to meet people. Like I was like, I gotta go to this combine, but I didn't know why.
Right.
But now I do.
For sure.
You see what I'm saying? Now I know. Because with Marlon, Lucas, you, and even a ref that was from Philly, Reggie,
Yeah.
I think his name was. Yo, the energy that we all had, it was so like, it was natural.
Yeah.
Like it was just natural
Organic.
energy. Yes, organic. Organic. It was just on another level that made you want to be like, yo, we got to do this again soon.
Yeah, for sure.
We got to do more things together, all of us. We have to, because I feel like one, that's my calling, and I feel like that's your calling. I feel like that's hers and Lucas' calling. I feel like that's our calling to get out here, and it don't always have to be a combine.
Right.
It could be anything that we put together. Like we need to, we can have conferences where we're just talking to young men, and I think they need that. You know what it is, bro? It's a lot of guys that are not out here telling these kids how it really is.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? They're telling them something so they can get the money from them. They're selling them a dream. You know, and shout out to that agent. I think his name was Etheridge. Etheridge. I can't remember his first name. Jared. He was pretty dope, bro. He was dope. He had dope energy too. So
and I talked to him a bunch of times since we left.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He got an event in Orlando. I don't know if it's still going on. I think he had something going on.
He had an event in Orlando, and I believe that they stopped it because of COVID. Because COVID is spiking out there.
Oh, it's spiking out there.
Yeah, yo, shout out. That's my brother James right there. Time and place, position, opportunity, make the best of it. God, let me be clear when I say God don't make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And brought all us there for a reason.
I agree.
You know,
I agree.
Like I seen you that night when I was walking in to pick up my food. I was like, oh, you at the combine. You're like, yep. And we kept it moving. I'm not introducing myself. I'm a different type. You know what I mean?
Right. We're the same.
It was the same. I don't trust people like that. I'm not jumping off the ledge like that.
Right.
You know, and the next day we clicked and it worked. You know what I mean? And worked. And I'm grateful because there's bigger things to come. I promise
you. Yeah, for sure. I told you that from the jump. I said, yo, we're gonna do a lot of things together. You can just feel the energy, bro. Yes. Like after we started talking, we were inseparable.
Yeah.
We were like right around each other. It was like natural. You know what I mean? So that's what I love, natural energy like that. I need that in my life. I don't do well with negativity, man.
I can't. I don't want. Keep me far from it.
Yes.
You're not going to take your negative spirit, put it on my positive spirit, and take what I had.
Right. Because that's what they are, man. They're like energy vampires.
Yeah, for sure.
They're out trying to suck your blessings away. Like they're out here really. There's people out here really like, oh no, TJ's blessed. Oh, let me get up under that and mess that up a little bit. Let me bring some of this negative energy over here.
I'm telling you, man, the devil don't show up with a pitchfork, horns, and a red cape no more. He show up like
good.
Yeah.
Show up with Balenciaga, there's some nice chains and a nice car. That's how you show up.
Yeah. Show up like that bucket of fried chicken and I'm one step away from a heart attack. Bitch, nah, I'm not B. I'm not B. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. So tell me what it is, what you got, what do you do on a day-to-day basis with the basketball thing at Allentown?
It's not so much Allentown. It's basically I got all these young guys that want to play, right?
Okay.
Like I coached in Nazareth. I coached the 16 and 17-year-olds in Nazareth, but then
Okay.
COVID put a stop to that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I work with my guys that are in the Valley League. You know what I mean? And right now, I want to facilitate a tournament.
Okay.
Like a 5-on-5, nothing crazy. Because every place that I've been, I have access to every gym that I've ever been to.
Okay.
You know? That, and like right now, my primary focus is the addiction community. You know what I mean? So
talk to me about that.
I am a recovering drug addict. Check this out. I'll give you a brief rundown of my story.
Okay.
I started getting high, like at a young age, I started selling drugs. Found my dad dead at 17. Somebody needed to provide something. I was selling drugs. Long story short, I'm playing ball. I go for a layup. I get hit on the way up and I land on my neck. The doctor gives me painkillers. I was off to the races for 10 years. I lost my sister to addiction. You know? And so now any chance that I get, I try to give back, whether it's picking up the phone, whether it's facilitating detoxes, rehabs. You know, I was awarded with the town that I lived in for majority of my life in New Jersey, Phillipsburg. I was awarded the key to the city for all the work that I do in the addiction community.
Wow.
You know, and through all that, I got knocked in 2004. I got a felony on my jacket. And here I am. I have a great career. I have a great family. You know what I mean? Like you said, I'm a wolf for this shit. You got to get up real early in the morning to piss in my Cheerios. I'm going to outwork you. I'm going to out-hunger you. I'm going to outdog you.
That's amazing, bro. But now look at what you're doing. Like, you still, with everything like that, bro, there's so many guys that be like, you know what? People are against me. I'm done.
It's the victim mentality. I can't get a job. I got a felony.
Right.
False. You can.
Right. Or you could create your own lane.
Exactly.
Create your own lane. You know what I mean? I just feel like when you talk about the addiction part, right? So my mom, I said she did 13 and a half years in Parsham. That's right outside Mississippi, close to New Orleans. She did prison time out there. About 13 and a half years. She got out. She actually took a charge from my dad, actually. He went on a run and went to Pennsylvania, and that's how I ended up here. He left, and they kicked in our door. They locked her up. She didn't tell. She did 13 and a half years in Parsham. When she got out, you can imagine how different the world was. Right? She got out. It was my first. I transferred from Maryland Eastern Shore to Alcorn State. I had to sit out a year because, you know, when you transfer, you got to sit out a year. I remember 2 days before my birthday. This is my first year with my mom in my life. 2 days before my birthday, in the apartment that we were staying in, I walked through the door. She had OD'd in the bathroom. I had to put her in a tub, throw some cold water and some ice in there, call the ambulance, get her in. So she battled addiction probably the first 3 years of me getting back to know her, right? In and out of rehab, in and out of places like that. And when you speak about addiction, it just and you tell me your story, and it just makes me feel bad, man, when I hear that, because I didn't give her the benefit of the doubt. Like, I hated her for so long because how could you, I thought in my mind, how could you do this to me? And I haven't met you. I haven't had you in my life for 14 years, but I didn't understand the pain that she was going through. I didn't want to understand it because I was being selfish. And it took me until I became a grown man, like more into my 30s, to understand the demons that she was fighting. Being locked up for 14 years, treated like an animal, and then coming out and the world being different, and her just being afraid. She ran to drugs because she was afraid to deal with the real world. And I didn't understand that, bro. I really didn't. It took me probably 10 years to like, and still to this day, sometimes I struggle with forgiving the type of person that she was, you know, and how she treated me. I thought, you know, I deserved a mom. I deserved a person to love me. I thought that, you know. So that kind of, for me, the addiction part, I've never been addicted to a drug, but going through that with her made me treat women different.
Mm.
It made me not respect women or trust women
Mm-hmm.
at that time in my life, because I'm looking at the woman that gave birth to me, who I sacrificed for, who I thought didn't give a damn about me, but she was sick. I had to step up. She was asking me to step up to help her.
Right.
And I was selfish, bro. And I know you know what that feels like, to be going through that and people looking at you like you're the problem, not trying to help you. And I had to realize that as I got older, like, man, I was wrong for that. And as I say this to you, I even realize it even more. Like, I can't believe I was that type of son,
It's
but
growth, man. Like, see, that's the thing. Like, there's no manuals for this shit. There's no how-tos. There's no, you know what I mean? Like, everything is a life lesson. I didn't understand the pain that I was causing my mother, my wife, my kids at the time. You know, I was worried about, getting the next one, selling what I had, having that circle continue, you know,
mhm,
until I did some work on myself, until I stepped out of myself a little bit to figure the damage that I caused, the path of destruction that I caused with it. Like, you know, I lost my mom to cancer some time back, but she got to see me be clean for 5 years.
mhm.
And as she's transitioning from this life to the next, we had the conversation, and she was like, I got to watch you be clean, be my son, be a father, be a husband, and go to work every day. It's the
Right.
little things, you know what I mean?
Little things.
And sometimes that's what I hold on to, you know what I mean?
I mean, I just, man, I'm so glad you shared that with me, man, because I've never really, talked about that to another man, like how
Right.
I felt about that. Like I said, I don't know what it feels like to be addicted, but I think pain is an addiction too.
For sure.
Like you said, that victim mentality, right?
Yeah.
I
We'll
think
hold on. We'll hold on to chaos because that's what we're comfortable with.
that's what we're comfortable with. So I held so much anger and pain in that I was addicted to that feeling. I was addicted to hating her.
Right.
So that pain, caused me to hurt every woman that came across my path.
Right.
Not because it was some beautiful people that came across my path. And
Sure.
I damaged them on purpose because I needed people to feel what I felt.
Exactly.
And now that grown up, I've reached out to those people, apologized, and it's up to them to forgive,
Yeah.
and I understand that now. But I mean, man, just your story, it's just, man, just to be where you are right now, people don't understand. I've seen people falter from addiction.
Sure.
You've seen it, I'm sure.
Listen, I in the past 3 years, I know personally of 13, 14 different people that I've buried
Mm.
just strictly from addiction, not from streets, not from natural causes, nothing, just from overdosing and dying. You know?
That's a that's crazy, man, because there's some great people that get addicted to drugs. I mean, great individuals that could possibly change the world, but then you have assholes like me as a young kid that don't understand them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of asshole people out there that are judging people that are addicted to something when they have their own addiction. It might not be drugs, but how can you judge a person when you are addicted to something as well?
If you stop at 7-Eleven every morning and spend $20 on scratch offs
You're
and you
addicted.
can't go a day without them,
Dunkin' Donuts,
you know what I
the
mean?
coffee, you're addicted.
Yeah.
Everybody has an addiction. Everybody has
Yeah.
an addiction. You
If
know what
you're
I
at
mean?
the
So,
casino, if you're at the casino 3 nights a week and your wife don't know where you're at,
right,
you
right,
know,
right, right. There's a lot of addictions out there, man. And nobody tells you this. I'm proud of you, man. And I'm just meeting you. I'm proud of you, man. And I'm happy the fact that your mom got to spend those 5 years with you to see you, you
yeah.
know, standing on your own 2 feet, man. Because that
I
means a lot.
appreciate that, man. But like at the end of the day, I thank God, man. I thank God and I thank my wife and my kids. You know what I mean? Because like when I first got clean, I didn't really have nothing to hold on to. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And even to this day, 17 years later, my wife is that rock. Is that rock? We be talking shit sometimes. I'm like, everybody worried about the pit bull, but you should be worried about the chihuahua. Fuck yeah,
Right.
But I'm super. I'm blessed beyond measure, bro. Like we can have a real conversation, and I can tell you what my life. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like I'm not supposed to be here. So you think I'm a mess up this opportunity? You're crazy.
Exactly.
You're
Yo,
crazy.
that's why I'm telling you why we gravitated towards each other.
Right.
Because that's my attitude every day. I'm not supposed to be here.
Right.
I know I'm not supposed to. I've survived cancer twice. I know people that get it once
And that's
and
it.
they don't make it 3 months.
Right.
I know there's a bigger plan for me.
Most definitely.
So I can't play around. Every day I'm trying to do something to help somebody else. Every day I'm trying to push the movement forward. So this brings me to my point. When you got a person like me and you, been through what we've been through, you know there's a calling over our life. And we're trying to help you young men. Why are you fighting us on this?
Because they know better than we do.
I don't get it. I don't think I'll ever understand that.
Nah, me neither.
I
don't even fight it anymore because I've learned that experience is the best teacher.
But we're trying to stop them from having that experience.
Right.
Because that experience sucks.
Yes.
That shit is painful.
For sure.
When you feel like you're at the top of the mountain and all of a sudden you get crushed and then everybody leaves your side and you have nobody. You have nobody.
Right.
I don't want you to feel that.
No.
So to look over, bro, when I first got cancer, and I don't mean to throw her under the bus. I was married at the time to my youngest daughter's mom. She left me, bro, and took my daughter because she couldn't stay to watch me fight what I was fighting. Now, everybody not built for that journey. I understand that. Everybody can't stay there and go through it with you. I get that. And we had our other problems besides that. So I think that was easy for her to use that to walk away. Right? So I had to fight this shit by myself. I had to go to chemo and radiation and and if anybody knows, and you know, because you watch people go through it. I had to go through chemo and radiation by myself and then drive myself home. I had to wake up 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, throwing up everything in me. Crawling. I was crawling to the bathroom. I lost 60 pounds in 2.5 months. I was looking like I was dying. People were judging me. People were treating me like a project. You know what I mean? Feeling sorry for me. One day I came home, sat in my bedroom, wrote a suicide note, put my gun on my lap, and was going to pull the trigger. And by the grace of God, at that time, they flew in with her mom, my youngest daughter's mom, flew in just to see me. And I forgot I left the door open in my apartment. And they walked in, and my daughter just started screaming, "Daddy, Daddy," not knowing I was about to blow my brains out sitting in that bedroom.
Look how God worked.
I couldn't handle the pain. And then I looked at this little girl's face, and right then and I just started fighting. And I fought. And I'm here. And now that I'm here, and I hear people talk about suicide, I got a podcast. And on my podcast, it's called The Quarters. It's on Spotify. And I got a podcast. And on season 2, there was a young man who was afraid to come out to his mom. He was gay. So he was afraid to come out. And he sent me a message like, "I'm about to do it. I'm about to just kill myself. Nobody wants to accept me. I'm gay. And I'm afraid to come out to her. She's going to kick me out, whatever." I convinced this young man on my podcast that we could talk to his mom together. And we did this. Shame on her. I don't know if she's changed her heart by now, but right then and there, she called him out of his name, all type of names, and put him out and whatever. This is disgusting, this, that, and the third. This young man tried to commit suicide. His friend stopped him. I got on my podcast and I said, if you know where he's at, please go find him, because he's talking about hurting himself. I stayed on the podcast for almost an hour waiting for them to find him. And then they finally found him, and I started talking to him on the podcast. And then I shared my story with him, what I went through. And right now to this day, I think he's a sophomore and Cal Berkeley right now, and he's living his free self. His free self. Shame on the parent,
Right.
for judging that young and the mom at that. Usually moms are like on point, with this type of stuff.
Unless
But
you get an old school mom from down south.
unless you get an old school mom from down south, right? So he's living in his truth, man. But that's what we're here to do, right? We're here to save lives. That's my
Right.
point. Like, we're here to save lives. Like, what if I wasn't here? What if my daughter didn't show up with her mom? What if I'd have killed myself? That young man would have died too years later with everything that he was going through. He would have blew his brains out, right? So I saved one, and I got addicted to that feeling. We talk about addiction. After season 2, I got addicted to helping people. So now I just reach out and try to help as many people as I can. I'm not a preacher, not a pastor, not none of that. I'm just a person with a pure heart that's been through hell. Right? So when I tell you at the combine, like, it's bigger than basketball. I can see a person. You can too. I guarantee you can look at a young man and say, there's something going on right there.
Yeah.
I can see it in your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
We talking basketball, you looking here, you starry-eyed. There's something going on in your mind. You know how it is when you can't turn your mind off from that sickness.
Yeah.
And you just stuck. You're like, damn, what am I gonna do? I'm here. Your body is here, but your mind and your heart not here. Because you're suffering, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? We here to do God's work. I believe that.
I'm just happy to be here.
I'm happy that I'm here with you right now, though. You make me, I feel good, man. You notice I didn't pick up my wine one time yet. I didn't pick up my wine one time yet.
I'm not mad at that. But listen, I like to keep the shows to 45 minutes because we're in this ADD era no, you good. To where it's hard to keep people's attention, but I think we kept people's attention tonight.
Yeah.
And I say that to say we're gonna have to bring you on for part 2 because, like I said, and like you said, this is way bigger than basketball.
Right.
I know you're gonna hop off here and you're gonna talk about your 3-on-3 tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let you do that. I'm gonna share that when you're done. But I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'm glad that God put me in line with you, and we got a chance to meet this past weekend at the combine.
No doubt, I feel the same, man. I love you, man.
Love you back. Before we go, is there anything you want to ask me before we get out of here?
Nah, man. I think that we're gonna connect off camera more so and get together. Get to know each other a little better, and then we could keep doing this. Every week we could get on and have some topics to talk about. Like we said, not strictly basketball, but just life, man.
For sure. For sure.
Always love, baby. Thank you for having me.
Much love, man. It's a blessing. Spittin' with Spitter, special night. Coach Jackson was in the building. Shut that shit down. Shout out to the Red Rose Thunder for bringing us out.
Now,
y'all have a good night. Peace.
Peace.